good, Auriel's been reborn a fraction of his old size. This was all foretold at the Cave of Riddles, of course, but it doesn't make it any less strange to see this curious, mute baby snake looking out at the jungles of Caldera passing by, as if he's never seen them before. What is going through Auriel's mind? Will he grow bigger? It seems unwise to bring Auriel anywhere, but Rumi reasons for the 1000th time it would be folly not to bring him along. He just saved Caldera. Maybe he could do it again. If he doesn't destroy it. Rumi digs his fingers into the moist skin of his leg to distract himself from the compulsive loop of his thoughts. The volcano under their rainforest hasn't erupted yet, but its rumblings are accelerating. By this pace it will be 8 nights before there's no space at all between them, which he can only assume means the volcano will be going off. An exploding volcano. Can any creature alive in Caldera help against that? Auriel seems to think so. Soon after the defeat of the Ant Queen, he had waited until all the shadowwalkers' attention was on him, then slithered around in the dirt, until he'd drawn a surprising likeness of a volcano cropping up out of the water. Then he'd reared back and smashed it all. Then he'd gone back to staring at them expectantly. Rumi was the one to point out that perhaps Auriel meant to stop the volcano. It was all they had to go on. Granted, it wasn't much. Think, Rumi, think! A better answer is always out there. There's a nagging feeling in his mind, and he realizes it's guilt. Emotions are always that way for Rumi. He'll feel a thing and only figure out what it really is after pondering it for a long time. He's let his friends down. That's it. Rumi's usually the one to come up with the big plans, though Sky's done his part too, but here he is, racking his brain and turning up nothing. A mind seems such a puny thing against the power of a volcano. Surely journeying to the site of the eruption is a reasonable start. But what happens once they get there? What use is something as insubstantial as strategy against 1,000,000 tons of magma? They'll just put Auriel near it and hope he has some miracle to work? Wait, is it actually 1,000,000,000 tons of magma? Rumi starts doing calculations to refine his estimate, then stops when he realizes he's distracting himself from his worst concern. He's got only 8 nights to figure out how to stop the volcano. The reactions of the other rainforest inhabitants confirm the scale of the menace. First, it was the pack of capybaras they encountered, braying nervously in the night air as they weaved along a riverbank, keeping their little ones protected in the center of the herd. Soon after were the peccaries, snorting and snuffling as they raced along narrow forest paths, fear revealing the whites of their eyes. Then birds soared overhead, a mix of blue macaws and white egrets and piping plovers, flocks of animals that never flocked together before. All of them, capybaras and peccaries and birds, were heading in one direction, away from the smoke. The shadowwalkers are the only ones going toward it. It's not thick enough to cause trouble for his friends, but Rumi can already sense the acrid smoke on his skin, sharp against his pores. Amphibian problems. He'll have to rig up some kind of mud mask before they get closer to the volcano. He's confident he'll deduce some way to protect his tender skin. That's not the real worry. The real worry is that all the combined brain power and intuition of the other residents of Caldera is telling them to flee for their lives. And yet Rumi has convinced his fellow shadowwalkers to head straight for the volcano. He appears to have suggested an unwise course indeed. Rumi hears a tree rat scrambling through the canopy. He calls out to it as they cross paths. "What do you know, rat friend?" "You're heading into danger!" the rat gasps as it races past, bounding up a trunk and leaping to the next branch over. "Go the other way, idiots!" Then the rat's gone. "Did you hear that?" Rumi chirps to Goji. "Yes, doesn't exactly inspire confidence," Goji says, pausing for a moment to catch his breath. He wipes the sweat from his neck and rubs his tired eyes. Rumi snuggles into the warmth of Goji's forehead fur, trying to scour the painful smoke residue from his skin. "I'm not feeling especially confident either right